Yeah, I need to record the session. Okay. All right. We will wait about 5 more minutes, if you don't mind, for the other participants to log on. So just 5 more minutes, and then we'll begin at 2:05 in Central European time.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Karibu.
Thank you. You are not audible enough.
Okay, so we're just waiting for a few more minutes and we'll start at 5 minutes past 2. So hold up. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to you from Geneva, Switzerland. This is Edison, and I'm from the SheTrades Commonwealth in headquarters in Geneva. Thank you for being here with us. Before we begin, can I please establish some house rules? Please mute yourselves and also disable your videos to optimize visual and audio quality for all participants. And also, I would encourage you to just keep your questions coming in the chat box, but do not unmute yourselves and ask questions or interrupt the sessions. We will address your questions as many as we can at the end of the presentation. And before we begin, allow me to please introduce Mr. Baraka Riki, who is the presenter for today. Thank you for being here with us, Mr. Baraka Riki. So Mr. Riki is the Customer Experience Lead for Sub-Saharan Africa at Microsoft. He focuses on the modern workplace and security. He is responsible for helping businesses realize the value of Microsoft solutions and the real-world business impact of the technology. Mr. Riki is an avid Toastmaster and a serial RPG player, and he climbs mountains on a regular basis. So thank you so much, Mr. Riki, for being here with us. We'll pass the presentation to you. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just going to mute myself with my cursor. Sorry, apologies.
Thanks for the introduction, Edison. I had to give back control so that I can unmute myself. It wasn't showing the unmute button. All right, let's go to the beginning of the deck. All right, so today's session is going to cover Microsoft 365. As you probably know by now, M365 is a suite of tools that Microsoft provides, and the end users or businesses can easily subscribe or plug into these services. And it has productivity tools, it has tools that will make your business run smoother, and so on. It has all the day-to-day tools I think that you would need to successfully pitch, engage with customers, and so on. So from the session today, there are two things that I'm hoping we'll get out of it. One is making you all productivity experts, knowing what tools they are in M365. And secondly, if any of you are going to be pitching such solutions to other customers, you'll know the key services and how they work, and you'll be comfortable enough to engage in a conversation around M365 and what it can bring to a business. Right. So for the first part, I'm just going to go through a few decks just to make sure everyone is in the same place with what M365 is all about. And then after that, we're going to go into a sort of day-to-day approach with how M365 works. And that part is going to be in three parts, which is going to be interacting with your clients, right? And then internal productivity. And then lastly, we're going to look at business automation. I hope we can finish this in an hour. It's quite a lot to digest, but let's see what we can do. Okay, the first deck that you're looking at is just painting the picture of what's happening in SMBs today. So you have 43% of businesses that are under 100 users being attacked. That is, you can imagine there's a lot of other corporate organizations, enterprise organizations, governments, and so on, but SMBs are usually attacked the most. The reason is because they don't have the security infrastructure that other organizations would have, right? They usually when you're starting out a business, you're just looking at how do I get things going? How do I get things running? So security is not a concern, but productivity and business is the concern, right? And then the other thing that we've seen a lot is in this day and age, there's a lot more collaboration when it comes to how business is conducted. It's no longer just one-man armies doing everything from getting the client, engaging with the service and everything. There's so many different steps that are happening, especially when you move from the traditional practices, like if someone was a doctor or something like that, right? You have many other things, many other new types of business are running, online stores. It could be services for other things, workshop seminars, for example. Okay, and then the mobility aspect. So looking at all of those, it makes sense having a product. Let's go back again. Having a product that can cover all those areas. You have your core productivity collaboration tools, you have enterprise grade security at the beginning, and then it's very simple, it's very easy to add users onto the platform. I'll give you a sneak peek of how that works. It ties down to 4 key parts: getting the work done, what new things, what innovative things are in those standard tools, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, that can help you in this day and age, how to co-author, how to engage with your whole team, how to also deal with suppliers and customers. So we'll take a look at those. Mobility, very key, work from anywhere on any device. That's a huge selling point for Office 365. For example, the Zoom that we're using right now, Zoom browser on the laptop, it's not that, but for example, Teams can work with the browser, it can work on the desktop app, it can work on your phones, Android, iOS. It's really cross-platform, right? And also there's offline availability. The security is inbuilt, but we're not going to focus too much on the security now. This can take its own hour just to show you what we're capable of offering in terms of protecting your data, protecting your image, and also protecting yourself from internal threats. That's something a lot of people don't think about. Then lastly, it's just getting everything together. Okay, so that's a key part. That's 4 key parts for M365. Okay, so we're gonna jump to the demo now, and I'm gonna give up. Edison, if you could stop the screen share so that I can also share. Thank you. All right, so let's take a look at Microsoft 365. When you log into the service, this is how it looks like. You have your communication tools, Outlook, Teams. You have your collaboration tools, SharePoint, OneDrive. You have your productivity tools, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote. Then you also have other services that we provide to make it quite a business tool, quite a business-ready tool, right? So these are the things that normally someone thinks about when you tell them Office 365 or Microsoft 365. They usually think it's just emails or some storage space. But we're going to look at some unique things that I think you'll be able to use and you'll be able to showcase to your customers. All right. So, and I said we're going to look at this as a day-to-day basis. So let's do that. I want to start off with one of the solutions called Bookings. Bookings is not available on the home version of Office 365, but it's available on the business version, which is probably the one that you'll be selling the most, right? The one for less than 300 users. Now, what you're doing with Bookings is you would come here to set up the services that you're offering. So in my day-to-day, let me pick my day-to-day picture so you can see what scenarios I'm trying to take you through, is that you have to have a way for your customers to reserve services from you or to engage you on things. And Booking does that. So that's why I'm doing this right at the beginning, because you'd want to have this set up and then you can plan for how to tackle one of these appointments. So that's a scenario that I'm going to take you through. Okay. All right, so with Bookings, what we're looking at is having a business page that is open to the public and people can actually go in and reserve services from you. So this is just an example of one I set up. So I've given it a business name, Baraka Inc. I can give it an address. So I could say it's very efficient because it picks up, it's able to pick up map details. So if your business, if you have an office location, you can type it in here and it will show up. So I should say overall, the oval, which is where Microsoft's HQ is. Right? I could key in my business number, where the email replies are set to. I could point people to a website URL, terms and conditions. Also, very important, setting up your business logo. This was a picture I found on my desktop, so I just figured let me just use that one. And then you can set up your working hours also, right? So people know when to book those appointments. All right, let's save that, like that. And let's go to the services that we're offering. So I'm gonna click here and add a service, and I'm gonna say maybe this is a webinar service, but it could be the IT service that you're offering or the business service that you're offering. If you're going to be doing Office 365 deployments, this could be maybe, you know that it's gonna take 5 days, you can put it for 5 days. And you can go here and say, the service name is O365 deployment for 20 users, like that. Like that, okay? And that's for 5 days, okay? So that's how you'd set up your service. Now, take a look at this. You see this, add online meeting, right? If you enable this, it will actually set up a Teams meeting to go together with this bookings tool. So you'll see the settings. I'll show you the link afterwards. So this is because this is important, like in terms of, like in these times, we're all working remotely. Some people are working from home, people working on the field, so on. And you want to be able to have that client meeting or offer that service remotely, right? And this will give you the option to do that. So let's leave that on. Okay. So we can put a buffer time. So for example, if I have back-to-back sessions and I just want to have maybe 5 minutes in between to you know, prep something or clear something up, I could add this buffer time here, and you can add it hours or minutes and so on as you choose. But maybe this is in days, so maybe you don't need a buffer time. The weekends can be the buffer times. And then here you can allow customers to enable their appointments and their booking. You can also determine the number of attendees. Some services are one-to-one. If it was a webinar such like this and you're offering this kind of service, it should be maybe you put like 50 people that you want. That's a number you're comfortable with. And then we can set the price. So we can say that this is going to be like that, and some notes. All right, then we can add customized fields. This is information that you want to capture from the client when they're booking. So you can say that you want to capture the phone number, the address. This would be useful if you're visiting them. Yeah, and if you want to give them the option to add customer notes, maybe there's something specific that they want you to prep for. Yeah, and you can also add other questions that you want. It's quite flexible. It's quite a flexible tool. So I'm going to say okay there. Now let's take a look at this. A lot of times people set up appointments, but then they forget or they're panicking because they just remembered that morning, right? So this allows you to set reminders for those bookings advance. So you can put a day, you can put 2 days, 3 weeks, and so on, right? Which is really convenient because someone remember, okay, yeah, there's this person who's coming in and we're gonna discuss this and so on. And you can even put your reminder message there, something like that, okay? Okay, this is a feature that is still in preview that allows you to text your the customer. So they get a text notification. It's free for now, so check it out. Try and use it. And but you can note the the disclaimer here. You may it's subject to change. Let's put it that way. It's subject to change. Okay. And lastly, publishing options, scheduling options, and so on. Okay. And you can see this one. I've assigned it to 2 staff members here, and that's it. I'm going to save this type of service. So I have 3 different services that my company offers, right? And here's where I can add other staff members who are going to help me manage those services. I'm not handling everything by myself. And here you can add customer details. It's also, every time a customer books with you, the information is also added here. And if you can also, if you have a customer list on a CSV file, you can open this and you can update that customer list, right? This allows you to do something really nice, which is you can book for customers' appointments. Right? If you have their details, you can book for them an appointment, and they'll just get a calendar invite confirming, and you can even allow them to manage their booking. Okay, let's look at the booking page. So this is one that I finished up, but I just want to show you how it looks like. You can set up the colors for your own brand, right? Well, of course, you would have your brand logo set up there. Okay, use just some options. Notify the business by emails, allow staff to choose a specific person if there's someone they want to work with in your company. And then this one is very important. If you enable this, the bookings will only be from an M365 account or eternally. So for example, if you want your staff to be booking time with you, right? You don't want the customers directly to book with you or something like that. You can easily use this to set that kind of thing up. So for internal reasons, you would do this. Okay, let's look at how the booking page looks like that. And this is available online. If I actually share this with you, you can go and take a look at the page. Monica, can you still hear me? Okay, if you hadn't, someone would have said something by now. So you can actually go there and you'll see this, and this is my booking page, it's live, okay? And note that whenever you publish these booking pages, you can also enable Microsoft to index your booking page, meaning that if someone was to search for your company, depending on the search engine, most likely the booking page that you've designed like this will show up together with your company information on that first page. So they'll be able to book services immediately from there, okay? This is without even you having your own company website. So let's say I want to do my webinar. I need a webinar for 1 hour. I want to book it on Friday. I want to book it from, it's because the time zone is different, but you can still appear. The account's time zone is in the US, so that's why it's appearing like this. But I can say there 7, right? See here, staff, it's anyone, but I had put 2 different staff, so they can choose what they want to see, right? If it's Lydia or it's this user here, and add the details. I'll put my Gmail one. Let me put my Outlook one, because I have Outlook open. Number and so on. Okay, this last option here is a terms and condition. You're allowed to add your own terms and conditions here, especially when it comes to consent with what to do with the information you collect. So you have the person's email and phone number, and then you're going to engage in services with them. So you can put this up there. All right, and book. Oh, I didn't put notes. And what else didn't I put? Date and time. Seven. Book. Voila, that's it. And that's how your customer would book an appointment with you. They can come back, they can reschedule, they can do another new booking, right? Okay. This is how the email comes in. It's a calendar item that they can save and
yet you have refused to honor my advances. That is why you will continue to be.
All right, so back. Right, so that is bookings. It's available on all the business platforms that you have, and it's fantastic tool. It's quite amazing what it can do. Okay. Now, what I'm going to look at next is you've enabled the booking platform, and people are able to go in and request services from you. Now, how does you and your team prepare to deliver services that you've been requested for? So what you do is look at the leading collaboration and communication software, which is Teams on M365. Okay. So this is how Teams looks like. On the left-hand side are the different parts to it. You have your communications tab, chat tab rather, and this allows you to talk to anyone in the company or anyone, even outside company, you can engage with them. The Teams part is where you'll find yourself doing most of your work, and then you also have your calendaring aspect. So let's take a look at it, the Teams section, and really see what kind of productivity we can get out of here. So someone has booked a session with me and they require a webinar. It's $1,000 webinar, so I better prepare, right? So when you're setting up your teams, you can set them up according to the services that you have, or a team perhaps to a particular customer. It depends on how the type of customers you have. If you have several, if you have a few large customers that you deal with, it would be better to have a team, and each team will have all the information about that one customer. But if it's regular services that you're offering, you can just put everything as one. The different teams that you have are public or private. This is just controls who can join the team within your company, right? So a private team, only the people who you decide as the owner to join can do that. So I can go here and I can say webinar services. And click that. And that's it. It's created a team for me. Now I can add other users. So I can add Nestor here, who's another director there, right? I can say that I want Nestor to be able to help me manage this team. So I'm gonna make Nestor an owner. And then I'm also gonna add the rest of my employees, or I could add by email address, or I could just add by a distribution or security group. Add them like that, say yes. Okay. And there we go. We have a team set up, right? Okay, so what exactly can we do in a team? What can we bring here? Now, this has the ability for us to discuss, like I was saying, a particular customer, a particular service. So in this case, this is my webinar services set up here. I can add a channel, and we can say this are perhaps productivity sessions, right? I'm gonna leave it open. Okay, there's some background noise. If you can help me out. Oh, I've seen it. Okay, what can we do here on Teams? I can tag someone. I can say, hi all. So you can have a general conversation there and tell anyone, webinar coming up. And then I can say, I can add a file here. So give it a second. It's just because I created the team right now. Okay, there we go. So I can search for documents. Let's say this presentation, upload this presentation here. And then I can tag the entire team or even a specific person. I could tag Nesta, Dell, and so on. Or in this case, I want to tag the whole of webinar services team. Help me edit this document. Like that. Did I attach the document? No, I didn't. Let's try that again. This is the document I want to upload. Okay, and it's uploaded the document there. Now I'm going to minimize the screen, and on the right hand side here, I'm going to open this screen here. So these are two different users. On the left side is this user called Grady. On the right side is a user called Nesta. So on Nesta's side, we're also going to go to Teams, and we're going to open up the same team and see what we can see there. So you can even see that some notifications are coming in that a team has been created. You have been invited to a team, and here we can see this was alert bell. It's gone up a count by 1 because I tagged everyone here. So you see that? So you can go and open that presentation. I'm going to open it for both sides. And here we have real-time co-authoring. Let's let this one finish opening. Okay, it's syncing now. You can see the users are logged in. Okay, and it needs to sync on this side. There we go. So both are syncing. And someone is swiping across the screen. Let's check that out. So you can see whatever I type on this side is being replicated on this other side. Is there a way to clear these annotations? Okay, that should be good. Okay, I have disabled the annotation, so that won't come up again. Right, so you have real-time co-authoring on your documents, right? This is available in Teams. It's available directly on all the office productivity tools. Okay, what does this mean for business? It means that you could be on your desktop at home, and you're working on a project proposal, and the other staff who's helping you come up with the document is miles away, working on the same document at the same time, right? You could leave home, just pick up your tablet, pick up your phone. You can be able to open the same document and continue editing it. So you can imagine, let's say you are seated outside a customer's office and they've just told you that they need some new changes to the presentation and you're about to go in and meet the board of directors, right? So to give that presentation, you can quickly just engage the team and tell them, okay, these are the changes that we need to do. And I need that like now. I'm going in 10 minutes. So I need you to work on the presentation on deck 1. Make it better, add this and this and this part, add this and this and this. And while I'm still in the meeting I need a new deck that gives you projections of whatever the customer had requested. Okay, so that's how co-authoring works. And it's quite nice. It's a fantastic tool. Now let's go back here and remove this. And I'm just gonna close this, right? So how exactly would I communicate to my team those new changes? How would we quickly align to them? Teams is a communications tool, and it can do the same things as the Zoom we're doing right now. So within this team itself, I can click here, and I can start a meeting as easy as that. And this is, I can give a subject. I can say meet now. What will happen is everyone within this particular team will know that there's a meeting happening and they can join. Or I can decide to schedule the meeting. And I can put all the required attendees and they'll know a meeting is starting at that time. Yeah. So because this was an emergency, it will be easier just to do like, a quick meet now, call people, invite them, and try and get their attention into the meeting. Like that. Okay. So this is the way a Teams meeting looks like. It scales quite a lot. You can have 250 people on one meeting or one call, right? And you get all sorts of nice features. Asking questions, you can raise your hand. You get the nice background features that you can put up. You can share your desktop comfortably. You can share a specific window and all sorts of functional stuff, right? So a lot of people think that Teams meetings, that you need to have Teams to be invited to a Teams meeting, but that is not the case. You could invite anyone that you want. I could invite a Gmail address, an Outlook address into a team, okay? Right, so let's look at that. And then lastly here, what I want to show you is just the meeting controls, kind of like how this meeting was set up. You can choose like who you want to be able to present during your meeting and who can bypass the lobby. This is maybe if you want to control who's joining your meetings. And it's the features are seamless. You see, you can edit the permissions just from up here. It's intuitive. Okay, let's look at how to, so that's how you set up a meeting within a team. But let's say you have a meeting request by someone, one of your customers, right? Just directly to you. They need 3 hours of your time. Okay. So I'm going to say minister planning session. And from here, I can still add at Outlook or Gmail or any address. So it's not limited. Just to make sure that, because this is usually quite a big hiccup when it comes to Teams. People expect misspelled. That's interesting. Okay, some reason I had to key it in first. Okay, so I'm just sending to both those addresses. So you can send a meeting invite to anyone, right? And as soon as you click send, they'll get a meeting calendar and they'll be able to join. Okay, this is why Bookings also works well, because Bookings it uses the same. Let me show you. So this is a session I've sent right now. If I click on it, I can accept, I can decline. but then you see this link, it's there, it's set up. And these are the webinars that I was booking. So I can go and check this one. So see the same thing. It also has a Teams meeting and they can be able to join. Great. Let's look at how to improve productivity when it comes to you. I'm just going to go through, I think maybe 5 minutes of that, and then we'll look at the automation. So I'm going to move quite fast now because we only have about 20 minutes left to cover quite a bit. Okay, so productivity, one of the key productivity tools that I like to suggest to users and companies is OneNote. The structure of OneNote is just like a notebook that has different tabs. Those notes have different tabs and you can reference it. Whenever you create a team, it automatically creates for you a OneNote document. And this is fantastic for taking down meeting notes, for planning sessions and so on. Okay. So I'm just gonna click on edit notebook here. Show you how that is. So I can put up a section here and say this client meetings. Okay. And then here I can say maybe MS meeting. And down here I can add all the agenda, what was discussed. We discussed bookings, teams, etc. and so on. Right. Great. So from this, what you're seeing is you can stack different pages, and then it's easy to reference a meeting that you had a week ago, a month, 2-3 months ago, then having to flip back in your notebook what was written. So sometimes I use both. I have a notebook that I take down the points, but then because sometimes when you're typing in a meeting, I've seen this before, when you're typing on a phone in a meeting, the customer looks at you like, are you taking notes or are you using another tool? Are you using another chat tool? So yeah, so I usually like take notes on like a diary. It just seems it feels a bit more I don't know, authentic, original during the session, and then after that I move things to the meeting notes. And these meeting notes are available to everyone within the team, so people can come here, they can update. You could have a template that guys update what they're doing. Okay, the other tool I want to show you when it comes to productivity is the ability to schedule and plan for the activities. So here we have a webinar that's coming up. Right, and there's a certain set of activities that have to happen for this to be a success. So what I'm doing is I'm just changing the name of this buckets. Planner is made of different buckets with different tasks underneath there. So I'm going to change the first bucket to June tasks. And I'm going to add webinar 1, set a due date. The client requested it on the 26th. I'm going to assign this to Alex. I'm going to assign this to Nesta also. And yeah, just like that, just 3 people. And I can add that task like that, okay? Now for this webinar to be complete, I know there's certain things that need to happen. So maybe there has to be confirm audience, get PPT slides, what else? Get a survey, and so on, right? Okay. Market the session. Okay, so there's this 4 things that we need to do to have a successful webinar. Okay, so this allows you to control and make sure that things don't slip through the cracks, especially if you have maybe like 5-10 webinars. So people have to go and confirm, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. It gives you a way to manage your entire team. So I like Planner a lot for that. It sends reminders to users. So I'm just jumping to the next slide. It sends reminders when the task is approaching. So you can see here, Archie has assigned you a plan in the webinar planning, and I can open this task up. And we can take a look at what's needed, confirm audience, so on. Okay, I can say I have the PPT slides and I have marketed it. So that is 2 out of 4 done. And you can see that planner is structured. These are the ones I've started, in progress, and completed. So if we jump back to my other user, Grady, I'm just refreshing that page by clicking out and clicking back in, we will see that 2 out of 4 has been accomplished. Okay, and that's how you can use Planner. All right. Okay, and so one of the things that I've assigned to this team is get a survey done. Okay, now how would they get a survey out? What's the best way for them to get a survey out? What they can do is they can use one of the other Microsoft tools called Forms. And we're going to create a new form here, and we're going to say webinar survey. That's setting up. I'm going to hit save to create it. And it's going to add this form into this particular channel within that team. Okay, right. Okay, so what kind of information do I want to capture on the survey? So giving me some recommendations here. First name, last name, organization. Yeah, so first name looks good. And last name also looks good. So we want to capture the email address. And let's make it very simple like that. Just add those 4. Okay. And let's also add a rating system. I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use the Net Promoter Score and add that there and say this is also required. Excellent. I have set up my webinar survey. I could add other things, my company logo to make it look better. Can change the coloring. Right. Can make it a pure color if you want to. Okay, I have my form set up. Now, how do I get responses from my clients? So I go to share, and you see here, only people in my organization can respond, but I can change this to anyone with a link can respond. I can copy this link here, and I can take that link, I can embed it on my website. I can create an email and send it out to my client list, or we could even take it back to the to bookings, and perhaps even add it as the reply on your booking that please complete the survey that we're doing and so on. So many different ways of using that link. How does it look like for your end users? Let's have a look at that. So I'm going to click on preview here. Let's say it looks like. This is how it looks like on someone's machine. First name, last name, email, comments, and the review. On a phone, this is how it will look like. Voila. Let's give it a try and fill it out really quickly. So say Baraka, Ricky, email. Let me use my Hotmail email once again. People always ask that. Okay, response submitted, and so on. Okay, let's go back, and we can click on responses here. So everyone in this team will be able to click on responses. They can view the answers. You can see who's responded. It hasn't updated. So we got it. Let me click out and back in and see it updating. Okay, so you see the responses went up by 1, and it has this one response has been filled, and so on. This information is captured in an Excel file, and each question that you ask is its own column. So it's start time, end time, because I set it that anyone with this address can reply. That's why it's not picking up these 2 fields here. These are for internal, so it's just going to change it to anonymous if you change that icon like that. And then you have your first name, last name. These are the questions that I'd set up before. And with an Excel file, it's very easy to manipulate this into a dashboard, into anything that you want. Okay, so I have my survey that is up and running. I'll be able to collect this information and so on. What else can you do when you're working with a survey? Well, you can put multilingual if you want the instructions to be in Swahili, for example. Yeah, that's possible. You can choose that. But aside from that, the thing that you probably want to do is when someone fills in your survey is that they get a response, right? A customized thank you message. You can put one here, right? Or we can decide, let's do this, let's make it more, let's make it better. Let's make the response better. Let's make the response tailored to the form that was filled in. To do that, I'm going to rely on one of the other Office 365 tools that you have, which is Power Automate. Power Automate allows you to set almost any action in Office 365 to trigger a workflow into something else. Okay. So for example, the forms one that I was working with. So I can come here and search for forms. Okay, so these are some templates that have been set up, but you can also create your own. I think after you come here and just explore this a bit, you'll be able to get how it works, and then you can look at the business process that you want to cover, and you can just break it down into all the steps and come to Automate and create it there. Okay, so what did I want to do? I wanted to email a responder when they complete the form. So you can see it's this one here. Send an email responder when response submitted in forms. So let's open that up, take a look at it. Down here, it's just looking if I have permissions. I do. And forms is available in business, in M365 business. Okay, so at the top here, I'm gonna click my form ID into load. Right. So I have many different forms. Let me just pick any for now, because let's say, let's take my Cocoa Fanta one. The form I created in Teams, I need to make a change for it to appear on this side. And because of time, let me just use one of the other forms that I've already set up. So that's a response. And what do I want you to do? I want you to customize the information that it's picking up. So what you're seeing here is a workflow, right? The trigger is when someone completes my form, right? And the response condition is, we need to change this, is equal to anonymous, right? Because we're capturing information from outside. Then what does it do next? Next, it looks that if the form has been submitted, it does this. If no, it can do something else. So we're only going to focus on this one. It's going to pick the responder's email, so we can actually remove this. And what we're going to do is we're going to rely on dynamic content. This is going to pick up content from that has been submitted up here. Right. So let me use AGM meeting registration. I think that one has a field for emails. It'll work better than my Coke and Fanta one. Yes. So just clicking here. So you see this email? This email is one of the fields in that AGM registration. So I'm going to add it there. Then down here, I want to personalize this a little bit. So I could say hello. And I know that there is one of the fields that you reply was first name. So I'm going to pick first name there on that form. So you see how it's going to start looking more natural. Hello, pick up their first name. Thank you for attending. Thank you for registering. So and so, and you can give them more information there. So this is a way to automate how when someone completes a form to you, they can get an email back. Okay. Now it doesn't have to be an email. We can think more. So perhaps it's a vendor registration that you want to do, right? So let's look at something like that. So because this is more business. So perhaps one of your clients has a need to register businesses that they're working with, and they want to have an approval process for that. So yeah, so for example, there's onboarding a new vendor. So what this is going to do is it's going to start combining a couple of platforms. It's going to combine SharePoint, which is where the information is going to be kept, not an Excel file. And from there, what's going to happen is when someone completes, when someone adds a new customer to the SharePoint list, this is like where you're keeping all your information. When someone adds a new item there, so I could choose maybe, let's go back to team and my vendors list here. So whenever someone goes to SharePoint site and adds a new vendor here, it's automatically going to pick the email field on that vendor, and it's going to send them an email asking them asking them to onboard, to complete a form to onboard, right? That form, you can create it. It could be like this one, for example, where I've just copied the link here, and I take that email into my flow, my Power Automate, and I put the URL here, right? And I could add other details and so on from the SharePoint list. Okay. Then after that, the next step is what it's going to do. So it's going to look for a form. This could be one of the registration forms that you have. So it could be the customer registration. So you have that form up. Yes, I do. So it could be a vendor form like this that I'm picking, right? And it's going to pick up inputs from before. And for each one of those inputs, this is what it's going to do. So once again, I just point it to that vendor form. Okay. Then it's going to start an approval process. So this can be sent as an email, or it can be sent, or you could use the Teams option where the approval actually comes within Teams as a chat. Then from here, of course, we have to put the conditions, right? If it's approved, then the vendor gets an email saying that this has been approved. And similar to the other one, we can use the dynamic content to match the fields in the forms or to match the fields in the SharePoint site and make this feel more natural. Some of the things I've even seen people do is when someone replies to an email and you don't want to make it feel like it's been automated, you can put a random delay on it so that they get the reply after 7 minutes, 13 minutes. So they feel like it's someone behind the scenes who's actually replied to the email. And yeah, some of those things you can do with this. You can just add an action and add a delay. You'd have to do it before this step though. Yeah, you'd have to add a delay maybe of like 7 minutes before it goes on to the next step. So there are thousands of different templates for you to pick up and have a look at, right? And lastly, just to close off, because we're almost actually done on time, is the ability to create applications within Office 365. A lot of companies, then they look at the costs of having a leave management system, and you're only 30 employees or 5 employees, and you're thinking, how do I schedule all this? How do I keep track of who's going on leave and where? Well, normally people would use Excel, but you can actually come into Office 365 and you can create your own application. And that one would be a really good one to create. Small businesses don't have that, the excess, not excess funds, but it's not really a cost. How do I put it? Not really something that you would want to purchase, right? So yeah, if you can do it in Office 365, why not? What else can you do? You can set up inventory management. If you have items, stock items, if it's a shop, you can use this to stockcase those inventory items and deliveries and things that are coming in. So any application that you think that might be able to help the company or your customer, it's quite easy to set this up. Let me take that back. There is a learning curve. It's not that easy, but it's not impossible. In a week, 2 weeks, you'll be able to set up an application. So I just want to open this application, then I'll stop there and just take a look at the questions. As this is opening up, yes, good, it has. It's very fast today. And this is how a leave app management tool look like. I can log in here. I can request for a leave here, say what type of leave it is, send it out. It will also calculate your leave balance. It can look at your holiday and all that. Let's look at the manager side. As a manager, I have a request here that is pending. I can click on it and I can approve or decline. I can approve this. I can send a message, send that out, and they'll get an email notification if you want, or even a Teams chat saying that it has been approved. Now, just wrapping everything back up, bringing everything back together, all the things that we've covered today, be it bookings, right, that we had here, to the call features, calendaring, everything can be brought into Office 365, including even that application that I've just created right now. I can click up here and I can go to Power Apps within Office 365, and I can bring in that, the HR application that I created there. Okay. So it's just finding the app that you want and save, and you can actually publish it within there. So Teams ties everything together as one. Okay, and I think that's it. We're out of time. Let's end there. There's one thing that's missing, but we can end there. Yes, this is fine. The other tool that comes with business, just a quick mention, is MileIQ. See, it comes with M365 Business. It allows you to track mileage, right? Deliveries, etc. It's like your own tool for doing all that, right? And you can even easily pull out reports and so on. It comes with the package. It's something else to explore. All right, so I'm going to stop the screen share and let's check the question Q&A. Do we do the Q&A now because we're out of time?
Yes, I think we can do the Q&A. Hi, everyone. This is Phyllis. Ricky, thank you for that very good presentation. Thara, I know there's a lot more. It's like a sea of information inside there. And you did say it's the best communication collaboration tool, and couldn't agree with you more. So there's a question from Zainab, which is, hi, are forms available on Office 365 or do we need the business version?
You're asking on the...
I'm asking on, I'm reading it out to you. Zainab?
Which version?
Sorry, the question is, are forms available on Office 365?
Yes.
Or do we need the business version? So it's yes, okay.
Yes, they're available. I think there should be a free version of forms also.
Okay. Okay, so it's a yes to that. There's another question from Monica Solanki. How do you upgrade from Family 365 to business? I just renewed the family one.
I don't think there's a direct upgrade, but we can check out with the CPS, with the distributor and see what we can do there. I don't think there's a direct upgrade that you can just click on.
Okay, so there you have it. I think there are no more questions as it is right now. So thank you so much. I think I'll hand over back to Edison.
Thank you, Phyllis. I think we have one last question that just came in. The part highlighted on 365 in his presentation, are they free or is it part of a whole package? I mean, I don't know specifically what you're referring to. I suppose you have to get Microsoft 365 to access all the apps, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just show you how that looks like real quickly. Okay, so for this session, I was focusing on the things that are available on the M365 Business Standard and the productivity side. So you do have, where's the price here? So for $12.50 per user per month, you get emails, you get the Office applications, you get Teams, you get 1 terabyte storage space, and so on. These are all combined. And that's the beauty of it, because you'll find that other companies will offer you a communication tool that will be around this price, but it doesn't have all those amazing services that I showed you. It'll just be like for calls only or calendaring. It doesn't integrate with other stuff. Right. So for free, you can look at Sway, Forms, but the other ones you have to subscribe.
Okay, thank you so much. Do we have any more questions from the floor? Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ricky. I would like to just conduct a quick poll for everyone. This will help us help you better. Could you please give your inputs very quickly? We just have 3 short questions. Would appreciate your inputs, everybody. And yeah, thank you for being with us, Baraka. It's a very informative session. Yes, Patricia, we have a question from you. Patricia, please post your question. Miss Bosede, files 365 have CRM. I believe so. Mr. Ricky,
yes.
Ms. Obo asked, does 365 have CRM? I believe so, but I'll let you take the question, please.
Yes, there is. There is a Dynamics CRM option with it. There used to be a certain feature in the business one, but it was removed. Yeah, but there is Dynamics CRM available.
Dynamics CRM, okay. All right, Patricia, my Outlook sends emails sometimes and sometimes it just doesn't. Well, that's it's quite a general question. There could be many factors. Baraka, do you have any inputs for that?
No, it's quite a wide question. Perhaps you can take that one offline. We'll just look at what's up, and it's very it's general but specific to her.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, it could be the size of your attachment or internet connection. There's so many factors that come to play. Do we have any more questions? We also have 20 more participants. Please click on the poll and give your inputs. We really would appreciate it very much. Any more questions? We'll just take about 10 more seconds before we close the poll and we end the session. And yes, I'll be sending out the link to the recorded webinar. And I would also like to remind everybody that we have a third session. Okay, I have a new message. Okay, Mel, thank you very much for participating. We have another session next week. It will be on Microsoft Azure, and that will be a technical session, quite a technical one. So if you are not from the IT sector or you're not very familiar with technical jargons, it might be a bit challenging. Am I right to say that, Baraka?
yeah. But it's still interesting. I mean, it's good to attend those kind of things so that you know what's out there. Yes.
I would encourage everyone to really explore if you're using Microsoft 365, and Phyllis and I, for example, the SheTrades and ITC in general, we are also using Microsoft 365, and there are dozens of tools in this software that you have to explore, and you have to see what is suitable for your business. I'm not promoting for them. I mean, I'm just saying, we are using it, and they're very, very useful tools there that you definitely should spend time to explore and look at tutorials online. They're all available. Microsoft Teams is amazing, especially the task manager for project management. So I think with that, I would end the session. Thank you so much, Baraka, for being with us. It is a very clear session, very hands-on as well. And I would encourage everyone to look back at this webinar if you would like to revisit some of the key points that he has made. And thank you, Phyllis, and all the SheTrades Commonwealth members for being with us. And I wish you a fantastic Tuesday. Goodbye, and thank you.
Thank you, Edison. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks, Edison. Good day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.